everyone, and welcome to Beginner English Module 8. So today we're going to be learning about countable and uncountable nouns. First, we're going to talk about how much and how many. Oops, I got those backwards. So how many, how much. Then we're going to talk about words like some, many, and any. And after that, we are going to learn about words like a little, a few, and enough. Then we'll have a review at the end to kind of look at it all together. And after that, you'll have your homework as usual for Module 8. So let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff right here. So we need to talk about what we can and cannot count when it comes to these particular things. So what we have here are nouns that we can or cannot count. Some things we can obviously count, like apples. You can easily count how many apples. Or crackers, let's say. You can count 1 cracker, 2 cracker, 3 crackers. You can count cans of cola, right? 1 can of cola, 2 cans of cola, and so on. But some things we cannot count. So we call those things uncountable. And when something's uncountable, we have to use a different set of words with it. So let's take a look at countable and uncountable. So typically, countable nouns, we can add an S, sometimes an ES, just depending, but usually just an S is what we will add. So we can add S to shirt and it becomes shirts, right? More than 1 shirt. Many shirts, not just 1 shirt. Or pens. So you have 1 pen or you have many pens. Students, right? You can have many students or perhaps just 1 student. But you can always count these things, right? All of them can be counted. 1 student, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many students? So anytime you can count something, we ask how many. So in these cases, you can say how many children, right? 1 child, this is an irregular noun, so child becomes children. A mouse, how many mice? Sheep, how many sheep? So 1 sheep and many sheep. This is irregular. It doesn't change at all. So tooth, right? 1 tooth in my mouth as opposed to many teeth in my mouth. How many teeth are in my mouth? I forget. Probably too many. So we can also make these countable. So we have some uncountable things we make countable by adding words like glasses or bags and cans. So you can count a bag, you can count a bottle, you can count a can or a packet or a box that might contain uncountable things. Okay, so let's look at uncountables here. Uncountable means not countable. So if you cannot count it, then it becomes part of this category where we use a different set of words with it. So with rice, you cannot count rice. They're too small. So you would have all these tiny little pieces of rice and you'd be like 1 little, 2 little, 3 little, 4 little, 5 little pieces of rice. There's no purpose in counting little tiny grains of rice, or hair for that matter. Could you count all the hair on your head, right? Even though I'm losing all of the hair on the back of my head, I still don't want to count the rest of the hair on my head. So if you don't want to count it, we're going to say it's uncountable. So hair in general is uncountable. Sometimes we might say you have a hair on your cheek or something. So this is very specific and it means you have 1. We can count that 1 hair, but if we're talking about the hair on your head, it is uncountable. So we would say, I'm getting a haircut, not my hair's cut. So simply try not to add try not to add an S on there. Music is uncountable. Toothpaste is uncountable. Things that are in like a tube that you squeeze out, you know, like, so you squeeze that out of the tube. Those are uncountable things because we don't know the quantity, right? We can't just count that out. Water, you can't count water. You can drink water, you can put it in a glass, and then you can count it at 1 glass of water. But water, like, you can't count how much water's in the ocean, right? You can't count how much water is in a river, so we cannot count that. You cannot count sugar, and you cannot count things that are small again, like corn and rice or peas, other things that are just, there's too many little bitty pieces for it to be done. A common mistake that I hear some people making is adding an S to popcorn. They say things like popcorns. This is also incorrect because you don't want to count your popcorn. You just want to eat your popcorn, especially if you're at the movies. So with these uncountable nouns, don't add an S and don't add an ES. Don't change them in any ways because they stay singular here and they become uncountable. So even though it says rice, it means plural. Okay, hair here, obviously not just one hair on my head, but the hair is plural. Or music, right? Do you like to listen to music? And when I ask this, I don't mean, do you like to listen to one song again and again? I ask, do you like music in general, the idea, the concept of music, the hobby perhaps of music? Do you like playing music? And I don't mean just one tune over and over. So make sure that we understand this, okay? Okay, so that's it for the countable and uncountable start. You can do some homework on this in Module 8, but we have more of this lesson to go. We're going to talk about words like some, many, and any. We're going to talk about a little and a few, as well as enough. So stay tuned, and I hope that you enjoy this lecture today.